welcome back to my video, or today if you're new, my name is Jennifer. Today we're going to talk about my March pile of possibilities into month 3 already for all the books that I want to continue to read this year. So as you can see, I have a very large deck here of possibilities, not including a video that I want to put out by Pile Possibilities for middle grade March. It is a readathon where you read middle grade books, that genre for the month. And so I have a whole list of options for middle grade books as well. So we'll look forward to having that video come out soon as well. But today I want to talk about the adult books that I'm interested in reading for the month. Lots of options, so let's get right into it. The first one I want to share is a middle grade book. It is The Iron Trials by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Magisterium series. It is something that I'm interested in. It's something that I found randomly when I was doing some thrifting, and so I'm curious to give this series a shot. And it is the one of the 12 books for 2026 that I have to read. This one I picked for March because the middle grade March series that I'm interested in. And so this is the one book that I want to hopefully read by the end of the year. So that is the first book. It says, Cal has no idea what he'll come up against in the Iron Trial, but he knows that if he passes the test, he'll become a student of magic at the Magisterium. Only all his life, Cal's been warned to stay away from magic. So he tries his best to do his worst, but fails at failing. But now he must enter the Magisterium, and it's even more sensational and sinister than you could ever have imagined. Once Steve started reading, it's hard to put down to The Guardian online. And so, yeah, this sounds just kind of like right up my alley with the tests and trials and things like that. So I'm very curious to see what this author and this Cal, the student, gets up to. So hopefully this one is a good read. It is shorter, which is good. So we'll see if I like this one. So moving on to 2 library books that I currently have checked out but haven't started yet, but interested in. One of them is Elisa Jewell, The House We Grew Up In. I did touch on this one in my library book haul, but in case you missed it, it's about the Bird family when when 4 children have to go back to the house that they grew up in, and they go back in time and learn how their family and their mom got this way with their house along as they grew up. And so it sounds very emotional and triggering, and so very interesting to see. Probably a thriller story because of Lisa Jewell, but yes, I'm interested to see how this one is as an option. So I have this one I checked out from the library. And then the other one is Jennifer McCone, The Invited. Again, I touched on what this one was about in my other haul, so if you're interested, go check that one out. But it's about an quest for simple life. Helen and Nate have abandoned their comforts of suburbia, and they take up an acreage, and they build a house based off of some of the artifacts that were found on the land, and it's become haunted, or what kind of different things come up to what happens with this specific story. So I'll be interested to see what happens with this one. So very interested in reading that one. And the next book that I have is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And this will be the first book reading by this author for me. And this was a part of a new series that I started. I'm excited to spin the wheel of one of 10 books that I have had on my backlist and haven't got to reading. And so this was the first book that was selected at random of the 10 book options. And so I'm excited to read this one for the first time for this month. And so if you're interested in checking out the new series that I've started on my backlist, go ahead and check out that video. But yeah, I'm excited to give this author and this book a try. I've heard really good things about playing with time and a love relationship, and just like kind of what happens between the 2 people that are 7 years apart. And they live in the same apartment. So I'm curious to see how this one gets written, and so I'm curious to see how I like this one for sure. And if I like the author's writing or not, we'll have to wait and see. The next book that I'm very excited to get to by Ellen Marie Wiseman is The Lies They Told. I did see today on Chris Does With Books and Jams video that this is also on her TBR for March, so I'm very excited to read this along with her and share her thoughts, since this has become quickly one of the best authors I've read from lately. And so I'm very curious to see how I like this one. This is her latest release. And so I'm curious to get Chris's thoughts and my thoughts and kind of compare and see what we think of this latest release. It just sounds so heartbreaking and about immigration and during the eugenics movement and things in the US. And so, yeah, the Blue Ridge Mountains in Virginia. And it just sounds so heartbreaking and emotional. And I think I'm going to be really invested in these characters. So I'm excited to get to this one. This is the last book that I need to read my 5-star predictions. So I'm really hoping that this gets a 5 stars. I really hope it does. So we will see. We'll find out. But this is definitely when I get to this one, so then I can actually read the 3 books that I'm reading for the 5-star predictions. All right, moving on to putting this one back on my TBR, Big Little Spells. It is the second book in the series. The first one is Small Town Big Magic by Hazel Beck. This continues off with the sister's story, Rebecca, and why she left the town that they grew up in and served up for magic, why she chose to do that instead of staying in the town. And so I'm very curious to see what this one gets up to. I'm interested in some spells and witchy books, and so I'm kind of excited. This cute little black cat on the cover, I love that. And so I'm curious to see where this series continues as well. And so as I said, I am in the mood for witchy books, and so I got this one, Books and Bewitchment by Isla Jewel, and this one came in as a pre-order and came out in February, and so I'm excited to get to this one as well. And so yeah, I'm excited to see what romance and books and spells and all of that get up to with this one. So it looks like a cute read, and I'm excited to get to that one. It looks still spring, even though it's no longer February. Pink is still appropriate for spring. So we'll do that. But to contrast that, I still have one more wintry book that I'd like to get to before spring. Is The Moon and the Crusted Snow. It is by Bushing. Sorry, I'm totally butchering your name. I'm so sorry. Rice. And so this is the start of a series, but it is one is society collapse and another is reborn. It's about surviving after an apocalypse. And so when there's dwindling food supplies, death tolls rise, and just how do you survive as a community. And so just kind of seeing what can get up to when things like that, as a devastation happens, what families and friends and communities will get up to. And so I'm curious. It is a shorter read, so we'll see. It is one that I like to get to before spring, so we'll see if I like to get to that one. 3 more for this pile of possibilities. It is a long one this month. This one has also been on my list a few different times by Christina Lauren, Something Wilder. I'm hoping that my audiobook hold comes in for this one. I think I have maybe 2 weeks more to wait. It's been a long wait to get this one back, but it just, hopefully in Utah and just kind of seeing this treasure hunt that happens. And so just dealing with family life and all the things you can get up to. I'm just kind of interested in something by Christina Lauren. Again, compelling reads by them. There's always something intriguing about their stories. And so I'm curious to see how this one goes. It's just a beautiful cover. And so, yeah, I'm really curious to get to this one. So we'll see which of the romances and stories that I get up to. But I'm definitely interested in that one as well. Now moving on to my nonfiction selection for the month, but it's kind of a different one. It is short stories. It's science fiction short stories. It is a longer one, so I'm probably expecting to carry this one over into the month of April. But yeah, I'm hoping to see what this one has in store. I'm curious to see if I like it. It has some like silver pages on the inside. It's very cool. There's a whole different series of these. Oops, there was a bookmark. And so there's a whole series of different short stories in this collection. So I'm very curious to see if I like this one. I got this one from, I think it was the library book sale was at a sale in like vendors, kind of like booths and things at a craft fair. And so the library had a booth and was selling books. And so I'm curious to give this one a try. It was good to support the library, but I'm curious in that one as well. But last but not least, I am interested in continuing on the Harry Potter series in the illustrated versions. I'm very curious to get to the Chamber of Secrets. So we'll see how I like this one. I did end up listening to the audiobook and looking at the illustrations at the same time, which I did really truly enjoy doing that in the evenings. And so yeah, we'll see how I like this one and all the illustrations and things. Fun fact, this is actually my least favorite book in the series. I don't know why, but it is. So I'm very curious to see if I quickly get this one or if I drag my feet, because not being my favorite story. But yeah, so that is the last option for my pile of possibilities for March. Hopefully you did enjoy seeing some options and possibilities. Hopefully got you excited to get reading and getting into March. And so in the comments below, let me know if you have a preference on which book you'd like to see me read. If there is a specific one that you want to get me to sooner rather than later, please let me know in the comments. If not, if you're not feeling chatty, let's do some kind of witchy emoji, which is hat, black cat, full moon, something along those kinds. Is there a cauldron? I don't even know if there's a cauldron, or something like that, or tea, anything kind of witchy related, because that's been my mood lately of what kind of books I'm interested in. So thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it got you excited for March, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.